Welcome back to On the Nose. I'm joined in studio once again, as I usually am, by Thad Taylor. Thad, welcome back in, mate.
I do my best to be here, Paulie. Where possible, like to do a couple of days' work a week.
That's a big week for you, isn't it?
Very good.
Yeah.
Pleasure to be here as always, mate. And we had the first day of spring on Saturday, Oxbridge Plate Day, so that was exciting.
Oh, so that's the first day of spring.
What is for me?
Okay, no, fair
Look,
enough.
Feels
too.
like spring out there in Wellington today.
It certainly does.
Yeah,
It certainly
beautiful.
does.
We're into it.
Right, looking back on last Saturday, a couple of domestic thoroughbred meetings, one in the Central Districts at Hawera and one up north at Tarapa. We're going to head to Hawera first, an 8-race card, and race 1 taken out by Dorothy's Daughter, who was had a nomination and was dual accepted.
Yeah.
Decided to go over the jumps.
They went over the jumps, a couple of jumps races to kickstart the day at Hawera. Probably not the most memorable for a couple of reasons, so we won't spend too long on them. Dorothy's Daughter was plus 10,000 in the first of the day. They backed Fierce Flight for the Te Akea team. It was minus 25. The Connors had 2 in the race, Night Rain and Fake News, and they all backed Night Rain, even though it was out there at $27. It ran second. And it was 19 out to 27, but it was minus 25 as well. The only short to take on Kevin Myers again here was 5 into $4.20. Didn't finish off, sadly, but plus 10 Dorothy's Daughter, but might have a future over the sticks, to be fair.
Race 2, Steeplechase, Very Flash, Emily Farr, Kevin Myers. Bookies struggled there, did they?
Yeah, it wasn't great, but they did back the Kevin Myers. They backed the Raymond Connors runners here. Our Damo in particular was 480 into 290.
Brucey.
And Brucey had some money as well, and that finished in the money, but Very Flash, we sort of had it onside, to be fair. It was 260 out to 290, back to 270, but all that money around the Connors pair meant Very Flash plus 10, so a couple of winning results in the hurdles, first couple.
Race 3, and Librero went whoosh.
Yeah, 4-horse race, Paulie, 4-horse race, so Librero first up, $1.80 out to $2.50, but that when it's an Alan Sherrick runner and, Alan's not against it, the money, and they keep drifting it, they keep putting more on. The marketplace was against it, but the customers were with. So even though La Parisienne was 12 into $5.50 and Jelly Roll was $6.50 into $4.20, Librero was the worst result by a way, minus 15,000. And to be fair, Librero and Pleasing sort of cleared out from the other two, but it was still a losing result there. First up, Librero minus 15,000.
Race 4, the mailman delivers Chris Dell on Brassy Miss.
Yeah, it was a bit of a busier market, this one, to be fair. Geez, I almost said it right. I refer to my best bet of the week in time after time for Kevin Myers. And I say I almost had it right because there was no money for the 2 first starter favourites here. One was Bebopper Lula for Andrew Falls when that was $3.20 out to $4.50. And the other one was the Roger James first starter Popsicles was $3.20 out to $5. And they pretty much ran accordingly, to be fair. So I was sort of looking to that race thinking, where are they going to go here? They went with Kevin Myers earlier. I thought, yes, Frankie Barrett drawn 1, missed the start time after time, looped them and came down the outside, but the race was over in the first 100 metres for time after time. The big mover was Smashing Sister. Now, this flew the gates from the outside, but faded late, and the winner was Brassy Miss, who there was a bit of money for, but because of that money for time after time and Smashing System, and it was a small winning result, plus 15,000, Brassy Miss, 11 into 9, but plus 15.
Race 5, and Love Helen at around $5.80 gets home in another small field.
Yeah, it didn't sort of budge. We had it $7.50, $7, $7.57, Love Helen. It was a break-even result. Latter's team, another smallish field. They love backing Violets of Blue. If it's not roses or red, it's violets or blue. The Tracy Bliss sisters, they did it again, $2.60 to $1.85. And in fairness, I don't know. I was to say time to give up. That's not fair because it'll win some more races, I'm sure, at some point. But the money that goes on at every start, quite incredible. Miss Dixie was actually the worst result in the race, though, for Anna Clement. That was minus 40,000. That was 9 into 7. And Do Pug for Kevin Myers, 3 out to 750 and ran second. So I don't know what was going on there with Do Pug. Came up the inside, the big grey. But Love Helen, yeah, and a sort of a nothing result was break even there around 750. There was some support from the ladder stable.
Race 6, Bruno Quiroz on Ready Response.
Yeah, 3 favourites here in the market initially. That was Ready Response, Rambling On, and Amazing Sun. Steve Hunt made Amazing Sun his bit of the day, and that
looked pretty good at the turn.
God, he must have been giggling at the 450 feet mark. Got out to the widest part of the track there, looked to be absolutely trotting. Bruno Quiroz was on Ready Response, who was $3.20 out to $4.60, and he was scrubbing it up from the 600. I thought, and then round comes Amazing Sun. I thought, Steve's done it again. Wait till we'll never hear the end of it. He got one thing he got right was the price. It started $2.30, Amazing Sun, but Ready Response up the inside, but $3.20 out to $4.60 plus 15. A Rambling On was the other one in commission. It was $3.20 out to $5. So some of these northern raiders coming down to these CD meetings, if you're not seeing support for them, it is a red flag, I would have to say. I mean, we mentioned Popsicles and Bebop Alula were easy. A Rambling On, another one for Andrew Forsman there. I believe it's Andrew Forsman, but it was a northern raider. Easy and didn't run particularly well, to be fair. So just something to note down. It's probably not something you're not aware of, but just watch those prices around those northern raiders in these CD meetings. And if they're not going inwards, yeah, I don't say sound the alarm bells, but
it might be a watch and wait.
Yeah, just
maybe.
I think so. I personally, I think so, but yeah. Now, like Parklight Princess was a mover for the All Rec team, 13 into 7. It ran a good race, led them up, boxed on well, but yeah, as I say, I thought Steve Hunt had it with Amazing Sun, but the Greys had something to say, and Bruno had something to say with Ready Response. I mean, it was plus 15,000.
At least one of the leg up panel got a best bet home on the weekend. Thad. We'll move on to race 7, though, at Harwood. And here we go. Tow rope, Jonathan Ridow at around $16 for Bill Thurlow and Sam O'Malley.
Yeah, Billy Thurlow, Sam O'Malley, they're always going to have a modicum of support, even though it was a bit easy in the market. Plays 10 out to 15. It was plus 10,000. They backed 2 runners that were bad results. Billy, even though that was a drifter for Kevin Myers, it was good money for it. An unusual gem. Plenty of money for the All runner, but it was 6 out to 8 back to 7. Yeah, and the 2 favourites. I mean, there was money for them. Well, particularly Crafty Colin, who's I keep saying is getting near a win, but we keep saying that after every run. That was 340 into 290. And Tall Mentor, I was supposed to play it safe in the 4-play this week. I'm back to the drawing board after the big boy got right back to last and just sort of plugged on home in a 9-horse field of finishing about 5th. So back to the drawing board for me, but plus 15,000. Plus 15,000, plus 10,000 for tow rope, 10 out to 15. That's where I got the 15 from, Paul.
Final race of the day at Harwood, and Madame Zara at around the $12 mark.
See the run?
Yes.
Remember the race?
Fantastic.
10 lengths last, leaving the straight the first time, tacked on at the 800, and then just boomed up the inside and ran away.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice by Crystal there.
Yeah, it was. And I think I haven't seen her in the I know Justin Evans made reference to her in the call when she won on the race, so I'm not sure the things surrounding Crystal, but good to see her back in the winner's circle. She's obviously had some time off or with injury or whatever it has been, so good to see her back. Still claiming the 3, so good time of year for her still, with the track's a bit soft. 2 favourites they backed here. Morning Coco, Brendan Popplewell's bet of the day on the leg up. Yeah, 225 into 210, but not for him, sadly. And the Finster was also 6 into 480. It's a popular horse on its day, the Finster. So they both had good, strong support, which meant Madame Zara was plus 25, 14 into 11 though. He was second up in the over the 2100, so it might not be the last win for Madame Zara. Maybe that's the best way to say it, but it was plus 25 because of the 2 favourites were both pretty heavily supported in the last.
Overall, at Harwood for the day?
Yeah, it wasn't a massive turnover meeting, it'd be fair to say. Just, I'll say dribs and drabs, that's not fair, but plus 10 here, minus 10 there, plus 15 there. Yeah, Very Flash was a small winning result. Librero was a losing result. Love Helen was break even. I think we just sort of chipped away plus 70,000 at Harwood on the day.
Okay, let's head north to Tarapa, and of course it was Waikato Stud Foxbridge Plate Day. Let's head to race 1. Quantum Legend. Punters get off to a good start there.
Yeah, they sure did. And these bonus back races again, big, strong. They're strong on turnover. People want to take advantage of that fact, and most of them thought, well, we'll have a bit of Quantum Legend off the back of that trial BP highlighted it on the leg up. Don't know why I didn't make this as a bet of the day. Minus 30,000, 215 to 215. Rumours led them up on a slowish tempo. It was $4.80 out to $15 for the Weatherly runner. And again, it sort of boxed on well enough. We'll need to see it again. Shoma, it's a big run from the back. It was 41 out to $81. Paul Mirabelli, starting price would be a bit concerning. You think it's going to back up, but the run on paper looks sensational. Magic Carpet also had support. First starter for Stephen Marshall, although it sort of stayed around its opening price. It was quite well backed and ran well. And the big mover was a first starter for Roger James called Mazette. She's a daughter of Wooten Bassett, who's a side kicking a fair few goals, obviously. So
we'll be seeing a few of them running around.
Yeah, exactly right. So look, it was minus 30. Quantum legend Mazette was the short. 15-7 ran a pretty good race as well. So one to keep an eye on.
Race 2, Don's Legacy with Alan Nicholas aboard. Maybe sort of, was that 50-50 with the bookie, or did the bookies make a wee bit there?
To be fair, they sort of cornelled at the three favourites there, and Don's Legacy, Sonoran.
And the third place getter?
Yes, the third place getter. It's one of these Irish names, Paul. You know, the ones you look at it and you think, how the heck do you say that?
How the heck do you say that?
Well, you think you say, George was saying Sieve. And no disrespect to our Irish brothers out there
certainly
at all.
not.
I just, SADHBH, Sieve.
Sadhubb. Or what? Seed?
Sieve.
Yeah.
Sieve. Yeah. And that could be totally incorrect as well. But it was minus 100,000 Sieve. So they put it on. It had a couple of seconds leading into this. Geez, it was because of all that money, and there was money on Sonoran. Meant Don's Legacy was actually plus 30,000 in the race. Well, again, one of these strong turnover bonus back races. Meant Don's Legacy was a plus 30. There was a bit of money for the Kahua, which was 19 into 12, led them up and didn't give it away. The Ghostly Grey, the Kahua. And Mulu was also a mover, didn't feature, but just letting you know for what it's worth, 15 into 950. But Don's Legacy plus 30. They piled it on to the Irish runner, Sieve, in the second of the day.
Race 3, and Dropper Something, who I think BP was quite keen on last week, gets home by a nose.
Yeah, hard race. They almost got it right with Tregore. You almost got it right with Tregore. It was 750 into 370. That was minus 40,000. And to be fair, the race was run at a very slow pace from memory. I think Dropper Something and Pacheco basically led them the whole way. And Tregore got right out of its ground and stormed home for second. So that's the run to mark down. That was also the market mover, Tregore. And now it's had 2 runs over ground. I think 2100's its future. And, it'll be a winning at short notice, you would think. GG got caught wide and boxed on well. So, look, they were all round it, but you'd expect them to be all round it when you've sort of got $4 or $5 favourites, if you know what I mean. And they were all up there. Diamond Jack and Pacheco were easy out of that group, but again, Pacheco ran well. And Dropper Something was sort of forgotten, never sort of budged from around 450. He had to carry the top weight minus the 4 kg claim of Sam McNair, but it was plus 50,000. Hula Beat, it's a fraction unlucky, 31 into 16 as well, one to mention. But yeah, tricky race for customers because you could have gone a number of ways. They forgot to go the way of Dropper Something plus 50.
On for the bookies, on to race 4, Lord Goliath. George Rook aboard at around the $8 mark. Another one for the bookies?
Not really. He was 12 into 8, Lord Goliath. He would have been stiff. I see George copped a whip, whether it was a suspension or a fine. I can't quite remember, but he was on the steward's report because, he had to sort of carve a path through at the 200-metre mark, managed to do it, and he was well back. Look, it was a huge field. There was money spread everywhere. There were 2 shorteners really in the race. Lord Goliath was one of them, 12 into $8, and Play in a Sandpit was $18 into $5.50, and was, I say, too bad to be true. Was sort of out the back, never looked a likely chance. No. They're saying too firm. That was the steward's report, too firm. That was the reason around Play in a Sandpit. Slick Chick was an interesting runner. I will mention it because it was 67 into 35, finished 7th, and just hugged the rail, and just was running home along the inside. Just some interesting money around Slick Chick, so maybe one to just watch where it goes next time. Chick there, out of a good mare too, Slick Chick. So maybe there's some wins at her. It might sneak under the guard of a few too, Slick Chick. So one for you, but on the nose, viewers.
Right, on to race 5 and Al Suri. I think I heard George say Al saw it.
He did.
So whatever, she got home.
Yeah. Wait till the next race. Doesn't get any easier, to be fair. But it was El Suri all week, and then it was El Saw It from George on Saturday. Yeah, they got this market pretty skew with the odd setters, to be fair. I mean, they opened up El Suri at $8. That wasn't your bet of the day, was it? Don't want to say much.
Well, don't worry about it, Thad. There'll be more.
There's money for old Jam, isn't it, for you? And then El McFab was 8 and 360. So that just meant everything else just blew. Solidify ran a heck of a race. In fairness, she said it might do that too.
Looked good, yes.
Looked like it was going to win it until the last stride. Rib Cracker, easy. Lotus, soft. Nancy, she wrote, was $4.20 to $6 because 2 big moves on only 2 runners, El Suri and El McFab. El Suri was very good. Had every chance to finish off and do what it did with the run it had, but did that. And El McFab led them up and over raced and faded out. So, as I back to the drawing board, looks to have a bit of a motor, but maybe was over racing for whatever reason and didn't feature. So, because of the split in the money between those 2 runners, I mean, it wasn't a terrible result. It was only minus 10,000 for El Suri.
Race 6, and you can do the winner here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what I think. Mo Charade.
Yeah, it does look like Mo Charade.
But that's not what George said.
Well, he didn't, and he has to check when they let him know too, George. He wrote an article on trackside.co.nz in fairness about this very thing, giving him a few headaches over the weekend. Mo Courage.
There we are. Is that another Irish? Is this another Irish?
I have no idea.
Mo Courage. Okay.
Yeah.
I got home anyway.
No, there was another massive field. No significant moves to sort of mark down and say, oh, that's one for next time. I mean, there was money for Stewart. There was money for Sweet As Me, and there was money for Hard Rocker as well. Mo Courage, 11 into 9, but just because the money was everywhere, it was mine. Plus 40,000. But yeah, tricky race. No sort of market movers to make major note of there.
Race 7, the feature race of the day, the Waikato Starred Foxbridge Plate at Group 2 level in Sterling Express. Save bookies, didn't get away to the best start though.
Did not.
And still, Massa really it was a very, very good ride in the end.
Yeah.
To be able to get back into the race and then get up over the top of them.
Well, exactly. And to be fair, can't make any excuses for anything else in the field with the run that Sterling Express had and what Sterling Express did in the last 300 or 400 metres. Well, no excuses for any of the beaten brigade, and are we looking at the most improved horse in New Zealand? Well, you'd have to say yes. He's sort of flown through the grades, really. He's only had about 18 or 19 starts. He had 7 wins, and he's, won a group. What, Group 3? Group 2?
Group 2.
I think it's a Group 2, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Group 2.
Yeah, so...
And there's been a move in the futures market for the Procea Plate.
Yeah, into $16 there. So, look, it wasn't the A grade, but, hey, he just keeps stepping up. There was money for him too. He was 16 into 12. There are only 2 shorteners in that middle market. Spencer was sort of 16 out to 21, back to 14. Had no luck for Sam Collett. That got back and wide. And Sterling Express was the other one, 16 into 12. He came out on 1 and gave nothing else a chance. The 2 favourites, Twain and Sacred Satono, where to change your favouritism there. And Sacred Satono wasn't bad. I guess what were they going to do from barrier 1 was the big question with him, and we found out they're going to lead. Don't know if that's really his go, but he sort of tried to ride it like the best horse potentially, so I don't blame him. But he was $3.30 out to $4.80. He'll benefit with the run, and Twain had every possible, to be fair. He had the gun run.
As they came around the turn, you would have thought, here we go, Twain's just going to go now.
Yeah, that's what I thought. He had every reason to do that. Look, he didn't run a bad race. He finished 4th and relatively close up 4th. But as I say, no excuses for the beaten brigade. But Sterling Express 16. He was 16 into 12, but massive money for a few of them, particularly Twain. I mean, it was plus 80,000 Sterling Express.
Final race of the day at Tarapa, and it's the Chittick family wishing Butcher all the best. And, of course, we wish Butcher and Tess all the best as well.
100% we do.
Yep,
Yeah, don't want to hear anyone going through that sort of stuff. So nice to see that sponsorship from the Chitticks there in the last race. Yeah, the track Butch obviously knows awfully well. We were saved in the last by the win of 10 Foot Tall because Sweet But Psycho, who was the stable mate of Jafira, who we opened, most favourite, was 4 out to 5.50 Jafira, and Sweet But Psycho was 16 into $10. Minus 140, and it was a bit stiff too. Just had to sort of Warren got back, and she was probably always going to get back to a degree, and then he just had to sort of weave across them and find that run, and 10 Foot Tall just got a bit of a break on. There was money for Free Bird as well, David Green. If the Green team think a run is going to be competitive, there's always money for it in Manawa. Just a fraction unlucky, sort of got held up behind them. It was $34 into $12, but 10 Foot Tall was $6, never budged. But because of all the money for Sweet But Psycho, it was plus 30,000, 10 Foot Tall. We got out of jail in the last because it was a minus 140 on Sweet But Psycho.
So overall at Tarapa, what have we got?
Yeah, plus 180, plus 190,000 at Tarapa, and roughly 70 at Hawera. So it was a toughish old day, particularly at Tarapa. Got off to a flying start with Quantum Legend from there. Just pulling the wrong rein, in fairness, on a few of them. Drop of Something's an example of that, where, if it was Tregore, bang, gone. The last race, Sweet But Psycho, boom, we're in trouble. Minus 140. If Twain had won the Foxbridge, it would have been an awfully difficult day. But
the tables get turned.
Yeah, exactly. Just a tough day. So it was a plus about 250, 260 at both meetings combined last Saturday.
Well, with the weather getting better and the tracks getting better, I'm sure the punting is going to get better for everyone out there as well.
Well, exactly. And you cop these days, don't you? But we've got to learn from them. And that's what this little 20-minute segment is about. Just trying to just add another string to your bow in terms of your form analysis. And this can help. We know starting price, is an important part of trying to find that next winner. So this can, hopefully it can help you. That's what we're here to do.
Fantastic. Okay, thanks for following us again on the nose, and you'll have have you got a Follow the Money edition coming out a wee bit later?
I have. I've got one. Yeah, we've got one for that. So keep your eyes peeled for
watch out for that one, punters.
What, Wanganui Guineas next week, is it?
Wanganui Guineas, it is indeed.
Oh, very good.
Righty-ho, we sign off again with another edition of On the Nose.